Here is the 2025 Mini Cooper S two-door hardtop in Ocean Wave green over beige interior. We get a refresh this year, giving the iconic Mini the 21st century look and keeping the wheelbase under 99 inches, giving us that go-kart drive. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and I'm going to go over the pros and cons, the problem that I have with the new Mini and comparable rivals, and we're going to see if this is still as athletic as the prior gen. Starting with LED headlights, daytime runnings, and cornering lights, no fog lights because the whole front fascia is cleaned up, similar to the prior, with the new octagonal grille that's going to get the gloss black elements in the top and the lower bit. I like that they put the actual paint inside the grille. One thing you will notice right off the bat is there's no chrome aesthetics. Now it's gloss black that highlights the middle trim of the vehicle, so it still keeps the iconic look but gives the gloss black elements, so it's a little bit more sporty. 12 horsepower and 14 pound-feet of torque more. Underneath the hood, 2.0 liter Mini twin power turbo inline 4-cylinder producing 201 horsepower and 221 pound-feet of torque, paired to a 7-speed dual clutch automatic transmission. Reaching 60, Mini is quoting at 6.3 seconds, and when you're thinking a curb weight is just a touch over 3,000 pounds, that's pretty quick for this little vehicle. Achieving 28 mpgs for the city, 39 mpgs for the highway. We have 18-inch. This is a two-tone. 70% of this wheel is recycled aluminum, so I like that we're going this route. Gloss black is going to surround the fenders. They flare out. The side skirt's going to be a little bit more settled, and the two-tone for the side mirror and the roof is because of the favored style. Now you can option a classic and the JCW, which will change the exterior and interior components, but we're still receiving that RC antenna. It's like they forgot to change it. Because they have changed the exterior to look more 21st century, kind of wish they didn't forget about that. Going into rival perspective like Mazda, this is going to be a little bit more fun to drive because of the suspension layout. We have a McPherson strut front and a multi-link rear. Mazda's changed it out to a Torsen beam, and because you're sitting right on the front wheel wells, that's why it's a go-kart feel, because you're seeing and feeling everything more instant, where any vehicle that it would compare against, Honda, Toyota, this is going to outclass it with performance and the drive quality. And one thing to note is you may want to consider the iconic trim, because that's going to give you the adaptive cruise control with the stop and go feature. So when you go into Mini, you have to option pretty much every feature, which is the first con for me. Reworked LED Union Jack taillights. It's more vertical. It goes into the gloss black. I like the Cooper S script, the new Mini badging. The lower is going to be a lot more settled. Front and rear parking sensors, and we have a 360-degree reverse camera, but you have to tick the box for the Comfort Package Pro. Quick release going into 8.7 cubic feet of storage. It's a Mini, so expect it to be a little bit smaller. One thing that I dislike right off the bat though is there used to be a little hanger here that would clip in to hold this, so you have more storage capacity. You no longer get that. You can still split fold the rear bench in the back at a 60-40 split more or less. That's going to increase cargo to 34 cubic feet of storage. Let's go inside, start it up so you can hear that exhaust note. 12-way power seat adjustment for the driver, 8-way power seat adjustment for the passenger, JCW bolstered front seats with the Mini badging, piping, contrast stitch, heated front seats, no more manual cushion extensions, headroom, and leg room. The new Mini is going to be a lot more cleaned up. It's still somewhat of a driver-focused setup, and it is all focused around this 9.4 OLED touchscreen infotainment, which has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming, Bluetooth audio. The cool thing about this also is you can put the speedo on here, so you can see every single thing working right here in the center, similar to a Tesla. Not a huge fan of that configuration, and even the turn signals will be indicated here instead of the heads-up display. The Harman Kardon is upgraded from the 6 speakers that's standard with 100 watts. So you're going to have the two-tone with the pattern design, the adaptive cruise control driver assist is part of the iconic trim with a new 3-spoke leather wrap steering wheel. The 3 and 9 o'clock make this look a lot more aggressive than the prior gen multi-function. And because we don't really have a gauge cluster, it makes it a little bit more simplified with ambient lighting that will come into here and also into the dash with the pattern here. The toggle switches are going to be able to put it in gear, start the car in different experiences. You can have balance, which will give you kind of like a massage seat. Timeless, I like the clock look for the odometer here. Vivid, green, core, go-kart, and you can also change this back. So whenever you click here, you can go to any of these quick wedges, and you can also configure them the way you like also. Using the toggle switch to put it into reverse, we have a 360-degree reverse camera, full trajectory for the front and the rear. We also have parking assist, which will show the front and rear parking sensors. A 3D view for this year, which you can simply touch the screen here to go all around your Mini Cooper. And now we have a car wash view that will show the trajectory for the front. Unfortunately, there isn't any climate control buttons, so you have to do everything in the touch screen, and this is just going to do the temperature. So if you wanted to change the fan speed, you click here, and then you click here. One thing that I dislike, when you turn it on low, listen to how loud it is opposed to very low, and it just escalates from there. You do have a physical button to turn on and on the sound system. Wireless charging pad is going to be in front of the cup holders. You got a little storage here, and the Mini opens up to the new Mini key fob. And I've brought the old Mini key fob so you can see the difference. It's now derived off of the BMW. You have a little bit of storage here, USB 12 volt, and it's going to be a little bit more sporty. The dashboard and door panels configuring together, and you still keep the 2 moonroofs with the auto dimming rear view mirror and the camera for the interior. Going into the door, you're going to still keep that cloth upholstery, and the pattern kind of comes into play here, and it's going to be more everyday materials here. One touch up and down for the windows with a medium-sized storage pocket and a beverage holder carved out. So you go to the back, pull this, and it's going to electronically adjust forward. And now at 6'3", let's attempt to get back here so you can see my facial expression. Headroom is actually not bad. Leg space, it's still indexing, which it's not indexing. It's literally, there we go. Now I can fit. As for driving, it's going to be a little bit more tight. And that's basically the room that I have. You don't really have any area to rest your arm here. One cup holder, and it's going to be hard materials everywhere with a long window and a coat hanger here. 6.3 seconds with 201 horsepower, 221 pound-feet of torque. You know the routine. The fun parts. She's hugging the road. It definitely still has that fun to drive go-kart feel. Put a smile on your face. Just grips like no other. It definitely has some power, and that's what I'm saying. When you're thinking curb weight, you kind of need to neglect the horsepower and torque numbers because it's a lot. The exhaust note filters in. You set low to the ground, but the windows are large. They don't look so large on the exterior. And that exit. I feel like I'm in the Italian Job. It's such a fun, playful vehicle. That's why I like the Minis. Like, it gives you a different driving experience. And braking, you can stop on a dime. I mean, look how she's hugging. We're going to change the experience mode into a more green mode. So now we're not going to really hear that exhaust note. Now when we push the gas pedal, it feels a lot more heavy, extremely heavy. But the thing is just ready to go. It's going to take me to some pros and cons. Starting off with the pros is we still have the fun to drive go-kart feel because it's under 99 inches for a wheelbase, meaning we're right on top of the wheels. The con, we don't get a gauge cluster anymore. We have the heads-up display, but because of this center cluster, I'm constantly looking here, and I don't want to feel like I'm in a Tesla when I'm in a Mini Cooper. Another pro is you're getting the JCW sport bolstered seats without going JCW because it may be too much power for you going from the S to that variant. Another con is in the cargo, we lose that little clip that will hold the cargo boot open for you when you're putting storage underneath the floor. Another pro is the wheels, 70% recycled aluminum. I like that Mini is going this route because that's what BMW is doing. They're cleaning up the environment. As for the everyday drive, it gets up to speed fast. There's a touch of lag, obviously, because of the size of the engine and the performance that we're getting out of this inline twin-scroll turbocharged. The toggle switches I'm not a huge fan of because now to put it into gear, you flip up or flip down. I don't mind the engine start where you turn it. It's kind of cool and retro, but even the experience or your driving mode select, kind of wish that the configuration was a little bit different and maybe gave me some climate control buttons because we have a physical button to turn on and off the sound system, but we don't have any other button more or less to operate anything other than what it is here. And which brings me to another con because I have driven this vehicle where it had some glitch in the infotainment screen. And if that happens, then you're not going to be able to work your climate control. You can still use the driving modes, however, you don't know what mode you're in because it's not gonna do the charm. The seat comfort's good. I dislike that we're losing the manual cushion extensions because the bottom or where you sit your butt is not increased in length. It's basically the same. I like that we get power seat adjustments. Another pro is they've kept the iconic styling of Mini, but just given it that 21st century refresh. And when you're thinking rivals like the Toyota Corolla GR, it's not going to be as fun as this, and you're going to spend a little bit more money than this. Braking, it's not going to be JCW spec, but it's still good enough for what it is. Turn radius is about 1.5 lanes. Let's rock and roll. She's going to slide all around, and that's going to lead me to the problem that I had, an all-wheel drive for the Mini two-door hardtop Cooper, in which I kind of wish it had that because you would be a little bit quicker in the 0 to 60s and it wouldn't be so much of sliding around. It would grip the road just a little bit more so. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise, website, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like. And I'd like to thank Mini of Wesley Chapel for giving us this 2025 Mini Cooper S two-door hardtop for our car review.